All right, so for today, we're going to be working on a very overdue piece. So I did this piece way back in 2019, and I never got to publish it because the drawing was a commission for the 2020 Street Fighter swimsuit edition. And if you don't know what that is, it's a little magazine slash issue run by Udon Entertainment, and they just commission a bunch of artists to draw Street Fighter characters in swimsuits for the summer, and it's always really fun every year. And I always used to see my favorite artists take part. And in 2019, when I went to San Diego Comic-Con with DeviantArt for the first time, shouts out to DeviantArt, very sweet of them, I got to meet the staff. Super honored, very flattered. I was so excited that I was asked to be a part of it for the 2020 edition. And what happened was, not only was it released in 2020, but as we all know, last year was a roller coaster of emotions, events, and on top of that, me leaving social media, I ended up just archiving all the raw Speedpaint footage and just never uploaded. And so I figured that now would be a fun time to finally put it out there. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the super delayed content either way. This is a piece that I'm very, very proud of, and I'm excited to finally put this footage out there. I got to draw my favorite Street Fighter characters, which are Elena and Juri. And Elena's my favorite, my absolute favorite Street Fighter character. I don't know, I just really love her design. I love what I get from her vibes. I've always wanted to cosplay her. I just really like her character. And I say all of this without knowing too much of the lore or anything about the characters in general. I don't play Street Fighter. I don't know too much about them. So I wanted to draw this piece with whatever information I had and whatever vibe I got from the characters in and of themselves. And that was that Elena was kind of a kind, like soft, like tough, you know, she's tough, strong, independent. I don't know if innocent is the right word, but that's the vibe I get from her. And then Juri strikes me as like also that, you know, strong, independent, badass, but like more like sneaky and devious and kind of like, I don't know, a little bit more mischievous. And so those are the vibes I try to give each of the characters, and I tried to make the interaction so that you could get that type of personality from both of them. I'm glad that I ended up picking up characters that not many people picked. We had to make sure that there weren't too many repeats and that there was kind of a balance so that you could get at least a little bit of every character in there. this piece specifically, I already knew I was gonna have some trouble with the background because if you've seen any of my drawings, you guys know that I don't really do backgrounds. I'm not very good at them, and it's definitely something I have to learn eventually. I kind of just knew they were gonna be on the beach, and I really enjoy close-ups a lot. I think it's really fun to work on the nuances of like the human body and how moving it and positioning it in certain ways can express different things. Just little nuances like wrinkles here, bends there, folds there, expressions and smile lines and all of that. And the closer you are to your subject, the easier it is to depict that. And so I tried to do that as much as I could, like I zoom in as much as I could, but also so that I wouldn't have to draw that much of the background. So, you know, kill two birds with one stone, you know what I'm saying? I was a little worried about the design of the bathing suits. I just thought they were gonna be a little too plain. I feel like I'm not really that creative as far as designs go or character design. And so if you've seen any of my characters in general, I focus more on the personality and their experiences as a person and how they interact, like character interactions and stuff, because as far as physical, visual, like character design, I'm not very creative at all. I was a little worried that the bathing suits were gonna be quite bland and that it just was not gonna be on par with everyone else's work. And to be quite honest, even after it's done, I feel like I just scroll through the book and everyone's work is just so amazing. And I'll show you guys a little preview of it after the speed paint's done. Another one of the things that I pretty much struggle with, and I think I've said it in almost like every video, is that I love to go super hard on the lines and then I'll realize that my shades, my coloring in general will take over the lines. And it's something that I've been working on pretty diligently. Every time that I draw something, I'm always like, is there a way that I can color this so that you can appreciate the lines and the colors without losing the lines completely? And I was so happy with the lines on this one, but I knew that I wanted to give this some backlighting, and with that comes a very, very dark foreground. And so I was already really worried that not only with Elena's like dark skin, but with the shadows that I was going to put, that you weren't going to be able to see the body line work, the folds and everything, the colors, and I was just scared. Like, my color picking is just not great at all, and my color theory is not good enough to do some of the things I'm actually proud of justice. You'll see me here trying to add some comic-like shadows. You know how they have like the masking layers, like the dark blacks as shadows? Because in my head at this point, I was like, well, if I do this, I can maybe put less shadows on the actual colors, and that way you can pay more attention to the lines. So all of this is just like experimenting as the drawing goes on. So here I start completing the flat colors. Sometimes you'll notice that Jury's hair isn't complete yet, and there's sometimes, especially if you've been on my stream, you guys know that once I get frustrated with something, if I really just can't do it, like I think momentum is a big thing for me. Like if I lose steam or momentum, I just start panicking. If I'm doing lines and I just can't get something to work, I'll kind of switch over to colors and try to just add colors where I know I can put them, or I'll use the colors in order to add a silhouette to the places that I can't line art, and then maybe line art over that and just kind of keep the flow going. So you'll notice here that I could not get Jury's buns right. I start just adding flats to everything else and trying to get the piece moving and going forward. Here, I wasn't quite sure what to do with Elena's hand, so still kind of playing around with some compositions and stuff and just trying to get everything to look normal. And I think one of my favorite things is like finishing the lines and just putting flats under it. I think there's just something so nice, which is why I rarely do things in black and white. I think there's something just so satisfying about going really hard on your lines, adding colors, and just seeing it like come to life. So it's really rare that I'll just do things in black and white. I just love the life that adding color to a piece does. I'm pretty happy so far with how the skin is coming out, even with the backlighting, and how much you can still see the lines, even with the dark shadows and everything. And a lot of it I think had to do with the really dark masking that I put on the line art and like adding little shadows with the black, and how the contrast was able to go up because of it, and so your eyes can really still see the lines. The shadows that I end up adding to this end up being very minimal. I try to keep it so that it accents the lines more than it does the actual accuracy of the shading, if that makes any sense. And so you'll see me kind of add it to little parts where like I want you to pay attention to the lines rather than where the shadows would actually be. That's the beauty of art, right? You know? You don't have to be realistic. You just have to make it look good, right? And get it subjective. So at the end of the day, right, you can technically just do whatever you want, right? Right? Am I just convincing myself that I don't gotta follow any rules? The one thing that I do kind of regret in this is that I didn't take into consideration that normally when you print things, it comes out much darker and much more saturated. And you'll see that in the print version, it does look slightly darker. And I wish I would have made it a little bit lighter so that way for print it would have printed in the way that I wanted to. But other than that, this piece is something that I'm still really, really proud of, even though it's from 2019. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, even though it's pretty outdated. And if you guys want to go ahead and snag a copy, I think they're still up. I'll put the link in the description if they are, and if they're not, then it won't be there. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. Let me know what you guys thought down below. Go ahead, like if you liked the video, subscribe, join the Nippy family. Follow me on my new socials. I got new social media, so everything is at Art by Nips now, which is pretty easy. So my Instagram, my Twitter, my TikTok, YouTube, everything is at Art by Nips. So that should be pretty fun and easy. And yeah, I will see you guys next week.